Hey guys, how you doing? This is Juan with Liberty Graphic Designs. Today we're gonna be sublimating two tumblers, and I'm gonna walk you through the stuff that you're gonna need to sublimate on tumblers. If you're new to tumblers, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Okay, so today we're going to be sublimating two tumblers, and the reason why I'm actually sublimating these two tumblers is because I just got some new shrink wraps, and I want to test them out. You know, that's what this is, a shrink wrap. I carry the shrink wraps on my Etsy store, but lately we've been having problems getting the shrink wraps, so we ordered from a couple of suppliers. This is, I mean, they look exactly the same, right? If I put them right next to each other, they look exactly the same. However, this is the one that we carry. It's a little stiffer, and this is the one that I just got. Well, I want to test them for a couple of reasons. I don't want to sell stuff that it doesn't work, you know, that it doesn't work good. And the other reason why I'm testing this out is because I get a lot of comments on, you know, on YouTube. I get emails. And I also get comments on Etsy saying that the shrink wraps are melting. Well, I've been asking where they're getting their shrink wraps from, and nobody has said anything. Nobody's told me where they're getting them from. But you know, as you can see in my other videos, the ones that I use, they don't melt. But this one, I can tell it's a slightly different. So that's why I want to test them out before I can put this ones on the market, or before I can put them on Etsy. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And I'm going to get some stuff out of the way. That way you guys, if you don't want to watch the entire video, just so you know, if you ask me things that are in the video, I normally don't answer those questions because it tells me that you didn't watch the video. So not to be mean about it, but it's like, the reason why we make these videos is so you guys can get the information out. And if you guys are not getting the information out and you just want me to give you the information, is like, watch the video. So the paper, one of the things that I get asked a lot, what kind of paper do you use? As you can see, this paper is pretty wide. This is 24 inches long. It comes in a roll. This is Epson paper, Epson sublimation paper. So that's what I use. The printer that I use is an Epson F570. That's the one that I use for sublimating. And the ink that I use is the T49M. That's the ink that comes with the printer. I don't use any third-party inks. So there you go. So Epson paper, Epson printer, F570, and Epson sublimation ink, which is the T49M. T as in Tom, 49 as the number, and M as in Mary. So with that out of the way, now you know what kind of paper, what kind of ink, what kind of printer I use. So again, if you ask me those questions, I'm not gonna answer. Another question that I get asked a lot is, where do you get your shrink wraps from? Or where do you get your tumblers from? We get them from Alibaba. So I mean, you just go to Alibaba and you can get them from there. I'm not going to give you the contact that I get them from because they're always switching. And one of the other reasons why I won't give you the contacts is because if you guys don't have a very good understanding, I don't want to be cut in between the arguments. So that's why we don't give the information out. So here's a tumbler. So why sublimation tumbler? Which reminds me of another question. So what I'm doing is I'm removing the little sticker that in the back of the tumbler. Remove it. It's gonna melt in the oven. So yes, I'm gonna be using an oven. So yeah, remove it. If you have a mug press, then I'm assuming you don't have to remove it because it's just gonna be on the outside, right? So I was gonna, oh, this one doesn't even have one. Okay, so when you're grabbing your tumblers like this, make sure you clean them. Because your hands, we have a lot of oils on our hands, so that's gonna create another problem for you to for you to, when you go to sublimate this. So get your microfiber. So get a microfiber towel and get some alcohol. Just go to Walmart and buy you some alcohol. I think this one it's 91. Yeah, right there. So it's 91% rubbing alcohol or whatever alcohol you can find. And then just kind of, you know, wipe your tumbler. Now, however, when you wipe in the tumbler, now you don't want to grab the tumbler like so. So usually what I do is I stick my hand inside the tumbler and just, you know, just kind of clean it up. Clean it up so it, you know, so it's good to go. That way you don't transfer the oils in your hands. So like for example, this one's already dirty right there. I don't know if that's how it came, but you know, it's a good thing that you're cleaning it. That way the tumbler is nice and clean, you know, and let the alcohol evaporate. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my images out. So give me a second, let me cut them out, and then I will show you. So this one is kind of like a funny one that I'm doing for a friend of mine, Right Beats. A lot of you know who that is. If you don't know who that is, go check him out on YouTube. Check him out as not DJ, just the name Right Beats. Okay, so not the DJ, just Right Beats. And make sure you subscribe to his channel. That's what we're gonna do it. That's what we're gonna do today. So as you're getting ready to prepare your tumblers, make sure you turn your toast. If you're using one of these toaster ovens, make sure you have it ready to go. So on this one, I'm gonna be printing. Well, I'm gonna be doing 2 tumblers. So normally I do mine at 400 degrees for 4 minutes on something like this, okay? On a small one like this. If you guys happen to have a big tumbler, a big oven like a regular house oven, you want to lower your temperature to 375. Big ovens like house ovens, they usually tend to actually hit the actual temperature. These small ones right here, they fluctuate a lot. So if I tell you to set yours at 400 degrees, yours might not hit 400 degrees. It might hit like 415, 420. I seen them go up to like 450 when you set them at 400. Again, the small ovens are very hard to set, you know, at the correct temperature. If you have a thermometer, put a thermometer in there. That way you know the actual reading. However, you're still gonna have problems with little ovens like this. Okay, so if you have an oven like this, especially exactly like this one, and you're saying that you know, or you may be thinking that I'm giving you the wrong information, you'll see mine is set at 400 degrees, set on turbo, and then I'm gonna set it. And this time, because I'm doing 2 tumblers, I'm gonna set it at 5 minutes, not 4 minutes. So, but however, while you're getting ready, make sure you get your oven ready. You know, by the time you get the tumbler or the tumblers in this case ready, this oven is ready to go. It's nice and hot. So usually on mine you have to go past 20. On the timer you have to go past 20 in order for it to actually heat up. So I got it at 45 minutes right now, but again, that's only to heat up. And then once I get the tumblers in there, I'm gonna adjust it to the 5 minutes. So again, let me cut this real quick, and I'll come back in a little bit. Okay, so I got my images cut out, and I'm gonna answer another question that I get asked a lot. How big do you print your images? So my images are 9.3 inches this way and 8.1 tall. So if you don't know how to get your correct measurement for your tumbler, grab your tumbler and get a tape, and then measure from the top to the bottom, and it'll give you 8 inches and 1/8. So that's why I print mine at 8.1. And also measure all the way around. When you measure all the way around, it's going to give you 9 1/4. So it'll give you 9 1/4, and that's why I print mine at 9.3. That way it'll be kind of like almost dead on the measurement. However, you do want to measure all your tumblers whenever you're sublimating them, because some tumblers, believe it or not, they're actually higher, slightly higher than others. So the 9.3 and the 8.1, so 8.1 inches tall, you know, might not work for you. The 9.3 might not work for you, because some tumblers, especially if you got taper tumblers, taper means that it's bigger at the top, smaller at the bottom. You want to make sure that they're actually the same. So whenever you print your images, you're not short. So one of the tricks I also use is I use a string. So what I'm using is a string that we use to cut leather. So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna get I got a piece of string. Again, this is a heavy duty string, and you can get it at Hobby Lobby. If you go to Hobby Lobby, you can get it at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or any hobby store. Make sure that when you get this string, make sure it's not waxed. Okay, so because there's some leather string that is actually waxed, so it has wax on it. So make sure it doesn't have wax, so it doesn't melt on your tumbler and ruining it. Somebody on one of my videos actually suggested to use floss, you know, like what you use to floss your teeth. They also have floss that it doesn't have wax. So if you're going to use floss, make sure it's not waxed, okay? Because wax might ruin it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our image, you know, just bend it like this. And remember, we already cleaned the tumbler, so we want to wrap it around the tumbler. Now I know you cannot see. So, because you don't want to grab the tumbler anymore because you already cleaned the tumbler. So, and just wrap your image around and make sure, like if you notice right now, it's not straight. So what I usually do is I flip my tumbler upside down and I put it on a straight surface, just like this, and that'll even the paper and the tumbler at the top of the rim, just perfect. So now what I'm doing is I'm just making sure that it's nice and straight. I know you probably cannot see this on video, but again, I'm just making sure that it's aligning correctly, and right now it's not. So you don't want to have a misaligned image. There you go. And once you get it nice and aligned, in this case already at the top, you're going to need some heat tape. And it doesn't matter if you use clear heat tape or if you use the yellow one. Somebody asked me what is the difference between the clear heat tape and the yellow one. The yellow one is thinner, and the clear one has a little more glue than the yellow one. So I like using the clear one, not because it's more adhesive in it, but it's just sturdier, stiffer. So I like using that one because it's just easier to handle. The yellow one is so flimsy, I just don't like it. And also when you put in your tape on your tumbler, you don't need a lot of tape. The only thing you need to do is hold the paper in place. So that's basically, you only need 3 pieces of tape, one at the bottom, one in the center, one on the top. Again, because we're going to use a shrink wrap. The shrink wrap is actually going to be the one holding the tumbler together, not the tape. So, or holding the, what do you call it? The image together. I'm trying to fix this because I got a little fold right there. So yeah, you'll notice how some people, they got even tape going down the seam. You don't need that. On this one, I actually got a little bit of overlap. Trust me, when you get an overlap, sometimes that's when you get that seam right there, that line that nobody likes. So at this point, it's when you want to put the string, and usually what I do is I lift up the tape that I already put in there, and put the string in there, just so it holds it for me, so I'm not fighting it. Also, you can grab another piece of tape if you want. In this case, I'm gonna use the yellow one just so you can see it. And this is just so it'll hold the string. Remember, it's the image first and then the string. And the string, if you don't know what the string is for, that's just for to remove the shrink wrap a lot easier. So if your image, like for example on this one, it looks like it's a little too long, just kind of use your fingers and fold it in like that, and you'll get a nice sublimation at the bottom. It looks really good because it'll sublimate all the way at the bottom. So all you got to do is just kind of fold it like that with your fingers. That way when you shrink wrap it, the shrink wrap will push it in place. So there you go. Another thing you want to do before you start, cut you some circles, and that's going to go at the bottom. And the purpose of this is so if your oven is too hot and your shrink wrap actually melts and sticks to the bottom, so that's why you put a piece of paper at the bottom. So that way, if it melts, it'll stick to the paper, not the actual tumbler. So now that we have the string in there, all we gotta do is put the shrink wrap. So this is the one that I just bought. This is the one that I want to test, and this is the one that I already have. And this one right here, because it doesn't really matter, right? But I want to use the one with my design. I want to use the one that I'm testing. So the one that I already sell, that's what we're gonna use on this one. And you're probably asking yourself, how do you know which one it is? Again, this one right here is a little thicker than the other one, just slightly, just a little bit. So I'm gonna slide this in here. We'll put that down for a little bit. So a little trick to get the tumbler in there easier. Open this right here, and see how it's folded like that? So you want to open it and create another crease. You know, kind of fold it the opposite way, all the way across. Just like that. You see how now it won't even close all the way like it used to? So now it'll be easier to slide the tumbler in place. So right now I'm sliding the string first, and then I want to position the tumbler about halfway in the shrink wrap. And then right before I start shrinking it, I'm gonna put one of these pieces of paper in there, just so again to protect the tumbler from this getting melted onto it. So let me do this other one real quick. This is the one with my design, my logo on it. Hopefully I don't put it upside down. And make sure that your image is not upside down, okay? So just slide this one in there. Now watch. Now, remember on the other tumbler, remember how I told you, make sure you measure them? Remember how the other one was too long where I was actually bending the paper in there? Look, this one is not even to the edge. So that's what I'm saying. This tumbler, if I measure both of the tumblers, this one's going to be longer than the other one. So that's what I'm saying. Make sure you measure your tumblers every time or before you print your image. That way you can compensate for the difference. Put this piece of tape. So all I'm doing right now is actually putting the tape to hold the image in place. Remember, we don't need a lot of tape. The shrink wrap is the one that's going to be doing all the work. So now we'll get, oops, I was going to get that. So now we'll get the other piece of string. And on this one, I'm just going to use another piece of tape, the yellow one. And again, this tape right here, the yellow one, is just to hold the string in place. So I don't have to fight it whenever I'm sliding it down the shrink wrap. So on this one, again, on my design, I'm going to use the one that I want to test and make sure that it actually works just like the other ones. Because we don't want it to melt. And the reason why I'm doing 2 of them is that way you guys can see the shrink wraps that we normally carry right now and the new ones. So I want to see how the other one, the new one, is going to behave. I don't want it melting. If it melts, then you guys won't see it on the market. If it doesn't melt, then you guys got proof in this video that it didn't melt. Somebody asked me what temperature do I keep my heat gun when I'm shrink wrapping. I push it at the highest level, and then you'll see when it starts shrinking. So okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the small piece of paper, and I'm going to put a piece of tape on it, just so it doesn't move on me. Because sometimes when you're shrinking the wrap, it's going to try to come off. So this is the one with my logo on it. We're going to use the shrink wrap that we're going to be testing on my logo. That way I know which one it is. Now we're going to slide the tumbler in there. Now when you slide the tumbler in there, make sure that the tumbler is like about in between, halfway in the shrink wrap. And now we can start shrink wrapping. And you can tell how fast it actually shrinks. So if your heat gun is too hot, you can control it by, you know, getting it either closer or farther away from the tumbler. That's how you can control that. Okay, so I'm going to show you something real quick. You see the string right here? I didn't pay attention. The other one, I didn't pull it out. So the other one, it's in there. But it's okay. It'll still work. And also, just so you know, you don't have to like shrink it like where it's super tight. Because it's still going to shrink inside the oven. So you don't have to like overheat it, okay? So just leave it like that. And it'll work. So I'm going to get this one out because I didn't put any tape on this piece of paper. That's what I'm going to do right now. Just put a piece of tape just so the paper stays in place while I'm shrinking the. Okay, so again, make sure that the tumbler is about halfway in the wrap. Now this wrap is the one that we currently are selling on Etsy right now. We're kind of sold out right now, but this is the one that we are using at the moment. There you go. It's ready to go. If you notice that this one was shrinking a lot faster, don't think it was the actual wrap. The heat gun was already hot enough to where I was able to shrink it faster. So, but there you go. Both of them are ready to go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put them in the toaster oven. And make sure your oven's a convection oven, okay? That actually works best. So we're going to throw them in there, and I'm going to set it up. I'm going to set it, actually, I said 5 minutes, but I'm going to set it up for 6 minutes, okay? 6 minutes at 400 degrees. And the reason why I'm going to 6 minutes is because I want to see how this is going to behave. I want to see, because a lot of people are saying that theirs is melting. And I want to make sure that this is not one of those that are melting, okay? So that's why I'm going a little extra. I usually don't go past 5 minutes unless I have 3 of these in the oven. but this time we're gonna do 6 minutes to test this one out to see if it's gonna melt. You guys are gonna see it in what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a time lapse so you guys can see the whole thing. One more thing, I do not stop and rotate. I don't do that. So once I put it in the oven, that's it. Before I put them in the oven though, another trick that I do is I put a piece of paper. This is a regular piece of copier paper, copy paper, printer paper, whatever you want to call it. This is a regular piece of paper. So I throw it in there. If you guys got a silicone pad, you can go ahead and put it in there. Just be careful that the silicone pad that you have doesn't melt, okay? Silicone actually starts melting like everywhere, anywhere from like 450 to 500. It'll start melting, so be careful if you put a silicone mat in there. And the paper is so the wrap doesn't stick to the grill inside the oven. Another thing you don't want to do with the small oven is you don't want to be opening the door because it's such a small space. You'll lose your heat real quick. So I'm going to open it, put my tumblers in there, and I'm not going to open it ever again until it's done. So I'm going to put this piece of paper in there. Put both of my tumblers. Hopefully the string doesn't melt. And you see how long I'm taking? You don't want to have this oven open that long. So now we're going to set it for 6 minutes. Right there. Let me bring you in closer so you can see. Okay, so again, we're at 400. It's 400 degrees. We're on turbo on this oven. This is the Oysters. We're on turbo. And then we're at 6 minutes. So we'll come back at the end of 6 minutes and we'll see what it looks like. Again, you guys are going to be seeing the whole thing, and this is going to be actually a time lapse. Just so you know, this is the one that we normally carry right now. This one right here on the left hand side is the one that we're testing to see how good it behaves. So if it melts, you guys are actually going to be able to see it from where you're at. Okay, so there you go. 6 minutes already went by, and as you can see, the tumbler is still intact. There's no, like, for example, the videos that, or the messages that people send me and the pictures that they send me, it actually has holes in it. This one, I don't want to touch it because it's super hot, but I'm still going to touch it. This one is intact. I can actually see the sublimation right through it. Let's take it out. Let me see. Yeah, that sucker's like super hot. So there you go. I mean, the tumbler looks, or the shrink wrap looks really good. Now, okay, just because I don't see it melting, it doesn't mean that it passed. It just means that it passed the oven, right? So it still has to sublimate correctly. The cup or the tumbler has to be sublimated correctly. If it didn't sublimate it correctly, that means that I have to make another test where I leave it for 7 minutes instead of 6. Now, you might ask yourself, why did I do 6 minutes? The only reason why I did 6 minutes is because I have 2 tumblers. So if I only had 1, I would have done 5. That's the reason why I did 6 minutes. But, you know, again, if it works, then we don't have to do another test. If it didn't work, more testing. So let's take this one out first. Again, if you can see the image through the wrap, that means that your tumbler sublimated correctly. Flip it over, and I can see Rye's face right through there. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but I can see it real good. I can see the word right beads. I can see it real good. So now let's get this one out. And as you can see, the other one did not stick to the paper. And also, guys, notice. Let me put this one over here. Notice how the paper doesn't burn. That's another question that people was asking. How come your paper doesn't burn? I don't know. It just doesn't burn. So there you have it. This is the one that was in test. And look at that. I can see sublimation right through it. So more than likely, we're going to get some very, very good results out of this one. It's still pretty hot. Let me see how hot it is. Okay, so yeah, just so you know, it's 203 degrees right now. This one is 179 because I took that one out first. But let's do this one first. And the reason why I put the string in there, look, I put the little loops in there. I usually hold it with one hand so I can snap it with the other one. Just like this. Almost caught myself with a string. And that way it'll cut right through the shrink wrap. Instead of fighting it, you know, we got cut all the way through the shrink wrap. Just like that. See that? I'm gonna leave it like that. We'll unveil it in a little bit. So now let's check out the one that we're actually testing. As you can see, there's nothing wrong with it. Everything is good. Now this one I cannot hold the string because remember I forgot to take it out. So there you go. And you can save that string because that string is still good. Now this one we also sell clear shrink wraps. We still have one here. So we also sell clear shrink wraps, and this one is behaving a lot like the shrink wrap, like the clear one. I mean, it's very similar to that one. Let me get a trash can. And this one, remember, this is the one that we're testing out. So far, so good. I mean, it looks really good. Again, it's behaving a lot like the clear one, because the clear one sticks to the paper, and that's what this one is doing. It's actually sticking. See that? How it's filling the paper. So if I can get to this tape and remove the tape, then I can remove the entire thing. See that? I'm just trying to get that last piece of tape right here so we can take out the whole thing. Look at that. Well, I got another piece of tape here. So there you go. This is the one that we were testing. This right here looks amazing, guys. It looks very, very good. I'm very, very impressed. Yep, I'm impressed with this thing. So, wow. This thing looks amazing. I cannot even see the seam in there. I thought I was going to be able to see the seam, but you cannot see. I mean, I can see it because there's two different colors, right? You can see it right through there, but there's no gap in there. So there you go. This is the one that we were testing. I would say it's a pass. I would say it passed with flying colors. So now let's see this one. And this is the one that we currently sell. Let's see what this one looks like. Now, just so you know, the paper, like you saw at the beginning, the paper, everything was the same. Everything was the same. Was printed on the same sheet. The only difference was the shrink wrap. So let's see what this one looks like. Oh, this is good. So watch. There's a seam, right? There's a paper, like no gap. it did move over here on top. You can see it. It did move a little bit. It looks, look at that. It looks really good. And that's ugly rice face. So there you go. So that thing looks really good. I can see where I missed the at the bottom, remember, because the paper was too long. I can see where it didn't sublimate it correctly, but because of the way the print was, it actually doesn't look bad. So there you go, guys. I actually like it. I like the way it came out. I mean, the black, I mean, look at that. Those colors are really nice. So, but again, the one that we were testing out was this one right here. And I am impressed. So, I guess they are going to go on Etsy, on my Etsy store. If you guys want to get some shrink wraps, there's a link in the description below. We don't have the clear ones right now. Today is the 3rd, I think. May the 3rd. Let me see. Yeah, today is May the 3rd. So you can see it. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. But today is May the 3rd, 2021. And as of right now, we don't have any clear tumbler. I'm sorry, clear wraps. We also sell the tumblers, but we're also sold out. We'll be getting them in about, I think it's 2 more weeks, and then we'll have everything back in stock. But yeah, guys, this was amazing. I'm really impressed with both of the tumblers. I'm impressed at how well the new shrink wraps actually worked. But yeah, amazing. So thank you for watching, guys. This is it for this video. If you have any questions, make sure you let me know in the comments below. If you guys want to win this tumbler right here, and you'll know that this is the tumbler that I'm going to give away because I made a mistake right there. You'll see the little gap right there. If you guys want to win, if you want a chance to win this right here, there's a little sign right there that says stupid, and it's got a little arrow pointing at Rye. So if you want a chance to win this, Rye Beats or Ryan, whatever you want to call him, just put out a video today, this morning. He's gonna start his season number 8, excuse me, season number 8. If you guys want to get a chance to win that, make sure you subscribe to Rye Beats. Go to that video that he made and just put in there. Let him know that you subbed. You became another subscriber. And please put in there, subbed. Stupid. And then we'll go by the end of the week. So I say Friday, I'll come back and check the comments in there. And I will check everybody that put in there subbed. Stupid. And one of you will win this tumbler. That's pretty cool. He's gonna hate me for that. I don't care. Now, if you want to win one of these, if you want a chance to win one of these, I'm actually waiting on the rest of the tumblers to get here. As soon as those tumblers get here, we're gonna make about 20 of these because we're almost about to hit 20,000 subscribers. And I'm gonna make about, I said I was gonna make 15, but I'll make about 20 of them, and I'm gonna give them away. So if you want to win one of these, stay tuned to this channel, and I will make a giveaway for this one. That way you guys can get a chance to win one of these ones right here. So thank you for watching, guys. It was a pleasure like always. Again, if you have any comments, drop them on the description below. If you made it this far in this video, thank you for your support, and consider subscribing and dinging the bell if you want to be notified when I upload new videos. If you don't want to be notified but you do want to subscribe to my channel, I do appreciate it. You don't have to hit that bell. Please hit the thumbs up if you guys found this video useful. If you guys didn't like the video, you're more than welcome to hit the thumbs down. Thank you, guys. God bless you, and I will see you on the next one. See you later. Thank you. Bye-bye. I don't know why I'm wasting my time on this stupid. Right. I'm a DJ. Dumb, right?